All right, guys, so I told you I would be mounting a duck that I did a leg-to-leg incision on. So this would be, I guess, would be part two. What I've done already is, here, I'll turn around the camera real quick. I got the legs off, painted, installed, and yeah, I'm gonna add more in there. I got my own little technique with that. I'll keep that to myself, but just to build up where the leg meat was. So everything is all situated. I got the feet where I want them. I got the duck, he's already gassed. I'm about to blow dry him and then turn around and start putting him on the form. So what I'm thinking about doing, I'll just show you. So step by step, let's get to it. All right, so I got this wood duck about 70% dry, just to give myself a little bit more extra time, just in case if things want to dry out on me. I got this bone I need to repair, but pretty much what I'm gonna do, I inverted it so that way I got the wing bones out, and I'm gonna run the wires through all the way through the wrist because he's gonna be flying, and then once I get that wired and tied down, I will then take it while it's still inverted and put it onto the mannequin that I showed you before with the legs already attached. So what I'll do is I'll slide down the neck material to the head, and then once I get to the point where the wings are lining up where you can insert your wires into the body, that's when I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And then I'll go ahead and tamp those down and then turn around and pull down the rest of the body. And then the rest should just fall right into place. So it's all about just getting the skin in the right position as best as you can, because it's gonna make easier process later on, and then start sewing them up. So I'm gonna go ahead and fix this bone, get them wired, and get it onto the mannequin. I'll show you once I get it installed. Duck on the form with the wings already installed. Got the neck all the way through. Now we're on this rear end. Now what I didn't think about was the post I put in. So it may be something that you want to do after, okay, to save you some time. If you can't tell, I'm already smiling because I know I just created a big headache for myself and kind of defeated the purpose of what I did. But I don't have to make a super long incision, and I still am achieving not running, you know, that line. If you're having troubles hiding the incision line, I don't have that far to go. So really I only have to cut maybe, I don't know, maybe 2 inches. So really isn't that bad. So what I'm going to do is I think the easiest and fastest way to do this would be to make my cut, right? Get the skin down to where I need it, sew it from one leg after I glue it around the leg, start sewing, come up to where the skin was cut, go up that incision to fix my mistake, and then turn around and come back and more than likely pick up where I left off and run it the rest of the way. Or depending on how the first leg goes, I'll start at the next leg, do my glue to hold the skin around the very, what is it, the knee, to hold it around the knee, and then I'll start my sewing back to where I made my incision to be able to get the post clearance. So far, and it's really not that hard. Yeah, I don't know if I like it yet. So I got a few other birds that I did this same incision with. So I may have to do this a few times to really see if I like it or not. But so far, it's really not that bad. Being that I've been doing breast incisions for so long and doing something new, I'm kind of like, it's taking me forever, but we're gonna get there. So I'm gonna go ahead, make my incision, start sewing, and then I'll show you the progress I've made so far. I got carried away. I'm flying through this thing. So I will say, take the slide off. I will say this way is easy compared to the breast incision. The amount of sewing you have to do is not as much. And then also positioning the skin onto the form and making sure like everything is in its right spot to prevent a whole bunch of like moving after you sew it and all that sort of stuff. It trims down on that. The wings, which I'll turn around. I'm gonna let you see this bird here in a second. The wings to wire and to put in the form, and the neck material to slip through the skin. I mean, I thought it was gonna be a pain in the butt, but once I did it, I found it was easy. What I ended up doing was making that, here, I'll turn around and I'll show it to you while I'm pointing at it. All right, so don't mind it. This ain't close to being finished. I got a crap ton of printing to do. So what I ended up doing is I sewed that line all the way down, and then this still needs to be printed out, so it's gonna look roughed up right now. But I glued the skin around the leg, right, around both legs, and then I went ahead and sewed that. So you won't have to do that unless you mess up like I do. Then I started where I knew the middle was. Like I made my first cut, and it was right, I think it was right above the anus is my last video. You'll have to go back and look. So I pretty much had that center line. I lined it up, and then I sewed this way to the leg. Oh, I'm talking and not looking in the camera. I sewed this way to the leg up into the, obviously it's like almost like an armpit. And then I turned around and came back to the middle, and I sewed that way. So once I preen all this up, all that's gonna disappear. So we don't have to worry about, we don't have to worry about that. So it's a whole lot better than the actual breast incision, I feel. So, and as you can tell, it's flying. So, now will I continue doing this? I don't know. I say it's easy, but it's easy in some ways versus others. Like if you leave the legs on and you go to paint it, you have to worry about overspray, and then also getting all the way up to the knee or whatever you want to call it. And getting those feathers back enough to be able to paint all that before, so that way you don't see the coloration change. Because obviously these legs will turn completely pitch black. Now, that is probably the biggest help on doing this. So if you're having troubles with overspray, I 100% suggest this. Now, if I'm trying to think of, if you don't like sewing and you're having a really hard time with getting the breast incision line to disappear, then this will probably be the best way for you, because it's less sewing, and that line down there, underneath where all the intestines and all that sort of stuff are, that's a lot easier to cover up that line because there's so much fluff down there. So you just got to work the feathers and get everything laying back in the right spot. But as for the breast incision, with it being easier than this, I would say, it still has its pros and cons. Versus like the things I just pointed out, to be able to do this easier, doing the breast incision is harder. Unless if you remove the feet and you're really good at hitting that hole perfectly and getting that leg bone back through the skin. So I don't know, you can take it or leave it. It's possible. I honestly had my doubts about doing a flying pose with the leg to leg incision. So being that now I know how to do it, I'm gonna have more practice on other birds. I got 4 more that I did a leg to leg incision on. I'm not gonna do videos on those unless if y'all want them. I haven't been getting very much feedback, and if you've been sitting here listening to me ramble this long, you should go ahead and subscribe, hit the thumbs up, and make sure you leave a comment down below, because I don't really get that much feedback, and it's kind of annoying, because I would like to know, like, what you would want to see. So, but I'm going to go ahead and shut up. I got to get back to preening this bird and getting everything all set in the right spot. So I probably got another, who knows how many hours left. So, all right. Until next time, I've been Chris. This has been Duckalope Outdoors, and y'all stay safe out there.